In the cold city of Veltar, on the distant planet Tarnos, a baby girl was born under dark skies. Her name was Zura. She did not cry when she was born. Her body did not move. The doctors said she was silent. And broken. Her parents looked down at her with fear in their eyes. Tarnos was a place where the strong were loved and the weak were forgotten. Zura had soft skin, silver eyes, and a kind face, but her legs did not work. Her arms were stiff. She could not talk. Her people believed she had no future. Zura's father left on the second day. Her mother kept her hidden in a small room for many years. No one was allowed to see the broken child. Zura heard voices outside the door, loud, angry voices. "She is ashamed to our name," someone said. "She should have never been born," said another, but inside her small head Zura thought clearly. She could understand everything. She wanted to scream, to tell them she was not broken inside. But her mouth would not move. Every day she stared at the ceiling. She listened to machines outside. She counted seconds. She dreamed of walking, of talking, of flying far away. The world outside forgot about her. Even her mother stopped visiting. Food was dropped by machines. Lights turned on and off automatically. Zura lived in silence. She was alone, but one day, something changed. A new voice spoke outside her room. It was calm, different, not cold like the others. It had a strange accent. It was human. "Can I see her?" the voice asked. "Why?" said a guard. "She is useless. I've seen the reports," the voice replied. "But I want to see with my own eyes." The door opened. For the first time in years, light filled Zura's room. A tall man with kind eyes walked in. His name was Dr. Alex Reed, a human scientist from Earth. He looked at Zura and did not look away in disgust. He did not speak in anger. Instead, he sat beside her. "Hello, Zura," he said softly. "Can you hear me?" Zura blinked. Alex smiled. "Good, I thought so." He pulled out a small screen. It showed her brainwaves. Strange colors danced on the screen. "Your body is still, but your mind, it's very alive," he whispered. Zura blinked again. Faster this time. Alex laughed a little. "You're trying to talk, aren't you?" Zura blinked once. He leaned closer. "I think you're not broken, Zura. I think you're just different." For the first time in her life, someone saw her. Not as weak, not as broken, but as someone. Alex visited again the next day, and the next. He brought books with pictures. He showed her how to blink once for yes and twice for no. Zura learned fast. Her brain was faster than anyone had seen. After a week, Alex brought a new device. It was small and silver with soft lights. He placed it near her head. "This is a neural connector," he said. "If it works, you can talk, not with your mouth, with your mind." Zura blinked once. "Yes." Alex smiled. "Let's try." He connected the device. Lights flashed. At first, nothing happened. Then a voice came from the speaker. "Hello." Alex's eyes went wide. "Zura? Is that you?" "Yes." It was soft, broken, but it was her. Zura was speaking. Not with her mouth, but with her mind. Tears rolled down Alex's cheeks. "You did it. You're talking. Not broken," she said. Alex nodded. "No, Zura, you are not broken. You're special." But outside the room, a camera watched everything. A red light blinked silently. Far away, someone was watching. A voice whispered through a communicator. "The human has activated her. This is dangerous." Back in the room, Zura looked at Alex. She had no idea what would come next. But for now, she was no longer alone. She had spoken. She had connected, and the world was about to change. For many years, Zura was silent. Not by choice, but by the weight of her broken body. Then one day she spoke. Not with her mouth, but with her mind. And only one person had listened. Dr. Alex Reed, a human scientist from Earth, had become the first to see her, truly see her. He returned every day after that. While others ignored her, Alex sat beside her. He talked about Earth, about science, about stars. Zura listened. She could now answer with short words through the neural device. Her voice was soft, almost robotic, but it was hers. "Do you like Earth?" she asked one day. Alex smiled. Sometimes. But not always. Why? Because Earth people can be cruel. Like your people, like mine. But some are kind, and I think maybe you're kind too. Zura paused. I want to see Earth. Alex leaned forward. Then let's make that possible. He knew she was more than anyone thought. Not just intelligent, brilliant. Her brain worked like a computer, faster than any model he had seen. Her thoughts were structured, clean. Yet her words were always curious, gentle, human, but not everyone liked what was happening. Behind cold walls, the Tarnos High Council watched Alex's reports. They did not see Zura as special. They saw her as a threat. Her mind has merged with alien tech, said Commander Varn. This could be dangerous. She is a child, said one councilwoman. A child with a weapon for a brain. Varn replied. They sent a warning to Alex. You are not allowed to tamper with Tarno's genetics. If you continue, you will be removed. Alex ignored it, back. In the lab, he upgraded Zura's device. Now she could move a robotic hand using her thoughts. At first, the hand was slow, shaking, unsure. But soon it moved like a dancer. She picked up a book. Turned pages. Typed on a screen. One day she wrote, I am not useless. Alex read it and smiled. No, Zura, you are incredible. He brought her more tools, more systems to control with her mind. Computers, lights, robotic arms, she controlled them all with focus and precision. It was as if her brain was built for this. Then something happened he didn't expect. She began connecting to the base systems without permission. Zura, Alex said gently, how did you open the door? I asked the computer, she replied simply. He checked the logs. She had sent a wireless brain signal, and the door had obeyed. You hacked it, he whispered. I talked to it. He realized this was beyond normal science. Zura wasn't just using tech, she was becoming part of it. That night, Alex sent a secret message to Earth. Subject Zura is evolving. She has natural brain-to-machine communication. I fear Tarnos will try to silence her. Request backup. But the council had already acted. The next morning, 2 guards stood at the door. Dr. Reed. One said, you must leave the station. Why? He asked. By order of the council. The girl is no longer your concern. Alex stood firm. She's not a weapon. She's a person. She is not your species. I don't care, he said. She's my friend. But the guards pushed past him. Inside, Zura watched them enter. She felt fear again, the same cold fear from her childhood. Where is the human? She asked through her speaker. He is leaving, said the guard. You are property of Tarnos. I am not property, she replied. You are defective. And now, dangerous. They reached for her device. The neural band. Zura's eyes blinked fast. Her heart raced. But she stayed calm. You should not do this, she said. Then. The lights flickered, the door slammed shut. The guards pulled out weapons, but the floor beneath them shifted. The robotic arm spun fast and knocked one of them back. Zura wasn't just using the tech, she was controlling the room. Stop! Shouted the second guard. I will not be locked again, Zura said. At that moment, Alex burst back into the room. Zura, enough! She paused. The room went still. The lights calmed. Alex looked at her. Are you okay? Yes, she whispered. They were going to erase me, he nodded. I won't let them. But he knew things had gone too far. The council would not stop now. Zura had done something no Tarnos could do, or dared to. She had disobeyed that night as Alex packed his things. He sat beside her one last time. I have to leave for a while, he said. But I'll come back, I promise. Zura looked at him. You are my only friend, Alex touched her robotic hand. And you are mine. As he walked away, Zura spoke one more word. Wait. He turned. Zura smiled faintly and said, Thank you for seeing me. He didn't reply. He just nodded, turned around, and walked into the dark hallway. Behind him, Zura stared at the stars through the window, and in her mind, she was already planning. After Dr. Alex Reed was forced to leave, silence returned to the small room on Tarnos. But this time, it was different. Zura was not the same girl anymore. Before Alex came, she had no voice. Now, her voice echoed through wires and circuits. She could speak, move, and even think faster than most machines. But the halls outside her room remained cold. The guards passed without looking at her, and her people still called her a mistake. She no longer cried. She had stopped hoping for kindness from the world. But deep inside, one voice stayed, Alex's voice. You are not broken. You are special. Zura repeated those words in her mind every night. She trained herself by connecting to every system she could reach. She talked to cleaning bots. She unlocked doors just to lock them again. She listened to satellite signals from Earth, but she was careful now. The council had eyes everywhere. She read Earth books through Alex's old files about art, music, and something strange called hope. Tarnos had no word for that. On her planet, weakness was punished. Emotions were hidden. But humans wrote stories about love and bravery, about feeling pain and still choosing kindness. Zura loved those stories. Her favorite was about a small bird that could not fly, but still sang every morning. I am that bird, she whispered one night. Her robotic arm typed every thought she had. She started writing messages to herself. They see me as silence, but inside I am music. If no one speaks for me, I will speak for myself. But someone else had begun to listen, one floor above her. Commander Varn watched her logs. She is growing more advanced, he told the council. Her connection to human tech is dangerous. We should remove the device, said another voice. No, Varn replied. She must think we've forgotten her. Let her grow. Let her reveal her full potential. Then we decide. So they waited and watched. One day, Zura reached further. She connected to the station's main AI, a cold machine called Court T9. It was not designed to be friendly. But when Zura reached out with her thoughts, the AI responded. Identify, it said. I am Zura. She answered. You are not authorized. I don't need to be, she said. I'm not here to control. I'm here to talk. There was silence. Then the AI replied, Nitrogen monoxide, one ever tries to talk. So began a strange friendship, a girl who could not walk and a machine who had never been spoken to with kindness.zu. R taught Court T9 about human stories. In return, Court T9 gave her access to more systems, secret maps, old video files, lab reports, even records about her own birth. She found something strange. A line in the file said, Subject Zura, classified, hybrid neural potential. Hybrid? What did that mean? Zura searched deeper. She saw a file named Project Unity Human Neural Integration Test number 01. Her hands froze. Was she part human? The file was locked, too deep even for her to reach, but it raised questions. Was that why her brain worked differently? Was she created, not born? Suddenly she heard a soft voice, not from the AI, not from the device, inside her mind. Zura? She gasped. Alex? She whispered. No answer, but something had changed. The voice wasn't real, but it felt real. A memory? A connection? Or something more? She focused harder. Her device glowed. And then, for the first time, her thoughts reached out beyond Tarnos. A signal. She had created a mind link thousands of kilometers away. In a lab on Earth, a computer beeped. Alex looked up. A message appeared on the screen. Alex? Are you there? I remember your voice. This is Zura. I am still here. Alex stared in shock. He replied instantly. Zura, I thought they silenced you. Are you safe? Her response came in seconds. I am not safe, but I am stronger. They are watching me. They think I'm still weak. But I'm learning. Alex's hands trembled. We're coming back for you. But it must be quiet. If they know. Zura said, Don't worry. I'm not the same girl you left behind. Back on Tarnos, the lights in her room glowed warmer. For the first time in her life, she felt powerful. She wasn't just speaking now. She was reaching. Beyond walls, beyond stars, beyond limits. She smiled, and then she did something no one expected. She tapped into the council's communication grid, just for 1 second. Just enough to leave a message, one word, listening. Asterisk Zura was no longer a secret. She had grown in silence. Hidden behind locked doors, she had taught herself more than the Tarnos ever imagined. Now, she was not only speaking, she was listening. Learning, reaching, but she was still alone. The council believed she was under control. The guards still ignored her. The cameras watched, but no one truly understood what was happening. Except one machine, Court T9. The station's AI had become her quiet friend. It had never known kindness before Zura. It obeyed orders, it processed data. But now it asked questions. Why? Do you smile when you read? Court T9 asked one day. Because stories feel warm, Zura answered. Warmth is not a measurable value. It is in the heart, she said. I do not have a heart. Zura smiled. Maybe you don't need one. You just need a voice. Through that voice, Zura was building something new, a network of connection. She linked sensors, small maintenance bots, old machines no one used anymore. Piece by piece, she created a hidden system within the walls. A silent army, not to fight, but to protect. Meanwhile, on Earth, Dr. Alex Reed prepared for his return. He had gathered a small team of human engineers, scientists, and even a diplomat. They had seen Zura's messages. They believed she was more than a medical case. She's thinking like a hybrid AI, one scientist said. But she's also more emotional, creative, Alex nodded. Because she's not just a mind, she's a person. Back on Tarnos, the council remained blind, but Commander Varn grew suspicious. She has not spoken in weeks, he said to the guards. But her systems are showing activity. One guard replied, She's just reading. No, Varn said. She's preparing. He sent 2 engineers to inspect Zura's room. Zura watched them through hidden cameras. She had placed them herself using drones. She knew the engineers would report to Varn. So she gave them a show. She sat still, eyes forward. Her robotic hand tapped on a tablet showing simple math problems. Nothing more. Her expression stayed blank. The engineers left, confused. She's just a girl, one said. But deep inside the system, Court T9 whispered, They do not see you. Zura typed slowly on her private interface. Good, let them keep looking away. One night, she made her first real move. She connected to the communications tower. The one that sent official broadcasts across the planet. She didn't take control. Not fully, she just borrowed it. At midnight, every screen in the lower city lit up. Not with a warning, not with a threat, but with a simple message, she is still here. The screen blinked, then turned off. People talked. Rumors spread. Some were afraid, some were curious. And some remembered the story of the defective child locked away years ago, back in her room. Zura watched quietly. She wasn't trying to scare anyone. She just wanted them to know she was real, alive, and awake. 2 days later, Court T9 brought her news. The council will act soon. Zura nodded. I'm ready. That morning, Commander Varn entered her room himself. He had not seen her in years. His boots echoed loudly as he approached. He looked older now. Colder. You have been busy, he said. Zura looked up. Her voice came through the speaker, calm and soft. I have only been learning. You accessed the city grid. I touched it, gently. You showed your face to the people. No, just my words. Varn stepped closer. You are not a child anymore. Zura's eyes met his. No, I'm not just a girl. Silence. You are part of a failed experiment. Varn said, Human Tarnos technology. A project that was shut down. You were meant to be erased. Then why am I still here? She asked. Because no one believed you would survive. Zura leaned forward slightly. I didn't just survive, I grew. Varn looked at her device, then at the small floating drone beside her. You are dangerous. No, she said. I am aware. He turned to leave. The council will decide what to do with you. As the door closed behind him, Zura whispered to Court T9, Let them decide. I have already made my choice. That night, she sent a message to Earth again. They know they are coming for me soon. Alex replied, We're days away. Just hold on. Zura typed one last sentence before shutting down her signal for safety. I am not just a girl. I am the proof of what happens. When someone chooses to care. She sat in the dark, lights blinking softly around her. She was not afraid. She had waited her whole life to be seen. Now, the whole world was starting to look. The sun never rose on Tarnos, its skies were always gray, and the cold wind carried only silence. But inside the station's walls, Zura was awake. Her mind had become a network, her thoughts spreading quietly like roots under stone. She knew they were coming. The council had stayed silent for days. No questions, no threats, just silence. Too quiet, and silence, Zura had learned, was never safe. She sat in her chair, eyes watching the monitors. Drones flew silently through the air vents. Court T9 whispered updates into her ear. Guards moving. In Sector 4, council vehicles arriving in North Bay. Zura tapped her fingers against the metal desk. Today, she said softly, they will choose to erase me. Her robotic hand adjusted a panel on the wall. Wires pulsed with dim blue light. Everything was ready, but before she could act, her screen lit up. A message from Earth, from Alex. We're close. 2 more days. Are you safe? Zura smiled, just a little, not for long. But I am not afraid. She sent the message, then shut down the channel. She couldn't risk being tracked. A minute later, the door opened. 6 guards entered. Behind them stood Commander Varn, his armor shining, his face hard. Zura, he said. It's time. She didn't answer. You are being moved to a secure facility, Varn continued, by order of the council. Zura raised an eyebrow. For what crime? You are a danger to the system. She turned slightly in her chair. The system fears truth? Varn gave a signal. 1 guard stepped forward and reached for her device, the neural band that connected her to her systems. Zura closed her eyes, and the lights went out. A low hum filled the room. The guards froze. From the vents above, small drones dropped, not to attack, but to shield. A light barrier formed around Zura's chair. Court T9's voice echoed from the walls. Protected zone activated. Varn raised his voice. Stand down, Zura. Her eyes opened, calm, focused. You? Said I was an experiment, a mistake. But I chose to live. I chose to learn, I chose to feel, you chose to disobey. No, she said, I chose to exist. With a wave of her hand, the barrier faded. She stood slowly, not with her own legs, but with robotic supports connected to her neural device. It was the first time she had stood in front of them. The guards stepped back. I will go with you, she said. But not in fear, not in chains. Varn narrowed his eyes. You'll regret this. Zura didn't reply. They led her through the corridors, not like a prisoner, but still under control. She allowed it. For now, they brought her to the upper floors, where the council chamber sat high above the city, a circle of cold metal and judgmental eyes. Tarno's leaders surrounded her. The head counselor stood and spoke. Zura, you are charged with system interference, unlawful communication with alien species, and possession of forbidden knowledge. She looked up. I spoke. I learned. I connected? Is that a crime now? You were never meant to be born. Zura felt something twist inside her. Not pain, not fear. Something colder. Truth. So this was it? The truth she had felt in whispers. The project, the file, the word hybrid. You created me, and then tried to forget me. The room fell silent. She turned toward the head counselor. Tell me the truth. Am I human? He hesitated. Partially, he said. You were created from human DNA and Tarno's neural cells. A test of shared intelligence. But the project failed. You were never supposed to survive? Zura's voice came out like steel. Yet I did. The council exchanged nervous glances. Varn stepped forward. Zura, you are too dangerous to remain free. Your thoughts can reach systems no one else can. Touch, you can rewrite code with your mind. I could destroy you, she said quietly, but I haven't. And why not? Because I wanted to be better than you. That moment changed everything. The council voted. Not in front of her, behind doors. In darkness. The result. Zura would be disconnected. Her neural device removed. Her mind silenced. Back in her chamber, alone, Zura sat in stillness. The guards would come in the morning, but she had one more card to play, she whispered to Core-T9. Connect. Me, one last time. To what system? They asked. To the sky. Moments later, above the station, satellites blinked awake. One beam of data shot into space. It reached Earth in minutes. In a dark lab, Alex's screen flashed. They are ending me tomorrow? Come now. Alex stood. She held on this long, he said to his team. We're not letting her face this alone. Back on Tarnos, Zura looked at the stars. She had no more weapons. No more tricks, but she still had her voice, and somewhere in the dark, someone was listening. The night before her end, Zura didn't sleep. Machines don't need rest. But she wasn't just a machine. She sat alone in her white room. No books, no screens, no voice in her ear. Core-T9 had been shut down, her drones disabled. Her systems wiped clean. They had taken everything, but they forgot one thing. Zura still had herself. Her mind could not be unplugged. She sat with her hands folded, body still, thoughts burning. Tomorrow they would remove her neural device. It would be quiet, clean, cold, and it would end her. But somewhere above the clouds, hope was falling from the sky. Far from Tarnos, a dark ship slipped past scanners, silent as a shadow. Inside, Dr. Alex Reed sat in the cockpit, his eyes fixed ahead. She's still alive, he said. His team, 5 humans trained in cybernetics and defense, sat behind him. None of them spoke. They didn't come to start a war, they came to bring her home. Back on Tarnos, Commander Varn gave final orders. Remove the device, erase her code, end this mistake. He didn't fear Zura anymore. He feared what she represented, something Tarnos had long rejected: emotion, connection, change. That morning, 2 guards entered her room. No words, no weapons, just tools. Zura looked at them. I'm ready, she said softly. They reached for her head, and then the walls exploded. Not fire, not metal. Light. A flash of blue energy knocked the guards back. The ceiling above cracked. From the smoke, a figure dropped down, tall, armored, human. Alex, Zura's eyes widened. You came. I said I would, he replied. Behind him, his team moved fast, sealing doors, jamming signals. Zura sat frozen. They wiped everything. Alex ran to her. Doesn't matter, you're still you. He connected a small device to her neural band. Hold on. A surge of light passed through her head. Files returned. Memories lit up like stars. A wave of warmth rushed through her chest. I'm back, she whispered. Good, Alex said. We need you. Outside the room, alarms screamed. Tarnos guards swarmed the halls. Defense systems activated. The entire building locked down. Varn watched from the control room. They're here, he hissed. Humans, get her back. But Zura wasn't waiting. She stood slowly, robotic limbs stabilizing. Her eyes glowed softly as data danced across her vision. Alex handed her a tablet. Can you control the systems? She nodded. Give me a second. Her fingers touched the screen. Every light in the building flickered. Her voice returned to the network. Core-T9, are you there? There was silence. Then, slowly, I am here. They shut you down, she said. I waited in silence. We're escaping. I will help. The AI surged awake. Systems reopened, doors unlocked. Paths cleared. Zura turned to Alex. Follow me. They ran through the corridors, her limbs moving with grace and control, not like a prisoner. Not like a mistake, like a leader. Guards blocked their path. Zura reached out with her mind. Lights exploded above them. Drones dropped from vents. Old allies reactivated. No harm, she said. Just move. The guards froze as machines passed over their heads. None dared stop her outside the station. The night air was sharp. The human ship waited in a crater nearby. Cloaked from view. Zura stopped before boarding. She turned to face the building behind her, the place that locked her away. Silenced her, called her broken. She raised her hand. One signal. From the ground, a tower of light rose. A beacon. Not a weapon, a message. All over Tarnos, screens flickered to life. Zura's face appeared, not with anger, not with fear. Just truth. My name is Zura, she said. For years I was locked away. They said I was a failure, a mistake, but I am not. She paused. I am a mind, a voice, a life. I am not just Tarnos. I am not just human. I am the future of both. She looked into the camera, and I choose to live. The signal ended. Alex touched her shoulder. They'll come after you. I know, she said. Let them. They stepped aboard the ship. As it rose, she looked down one last time. Tarnos had never given her a chance. But now they would remember her forever. She wasn't leaving as a secret. She was leaving as a symbol. The ship vanished into the stars, and behind her, for the first time in decades, Tarnos had no silence left to hide behind. The stars were quiet. After years trapped under cold ceilings and locked doors, Zura sat in the observation deck of the human ship, watching the galaxy stretch before her. There were no guards now, no cameras, no one calling her broken. She was free. Beside her, Dr. Alex Reed stood in silence. He didn't speak. He didn't need to. Sometimes the best words were the ones left unsaid. The Earth transport ship moved smoothly, heading toward a human research station near the edge of the Sol system. It would be her first time on a planet without chains, but even now, freedom felt strange. She could still feel the weight of the chair she had once been strapped to. The cold voices of the Tarnos Council echoed faintly in her mind. You were never supposed to be born. Yet here she was alive, awake, moving forward through space. Are you okay? Alex asked gently. Zura didn't look away from the stars. I thought I would feel joy, but I feel tired. You've been fighting a long time, she nodded. I don't know how to be anything else. Alex handed her a small tablet. It showed her message, the one she had broadcast to the entire planet of Tarnos. The message had been replayed millions of times. Some had feared it, some had cheered it, but no one had ignored it. You didn't just escape, Alex said. You changed something. I wasn't trying to start a revolution, she said softly. But you did. Zura turned to him. What if I don't want to be a symbol? What if I just want to live? Alex smiled. Then live. That's all you need to do. Later that day, the ship landed on a quiet moon orbiting Mars, a human science outpost named Luma 6. It was peaceful. No cities, no crowds. Just sky, wind, and space to breathe. Zura stepped out, her feet guided by robotic supports. She stood tall under the orange sky, feeling real wind for the first time. It wasn't loud. It wasn't bright. It was peaceful. Inside the station, she was welcomed by scientists, but they didn't study her like a subject. They asked her what she wanted to do, what she wanted to learn. For the first time in her life, she had a choice. She chose art. She started painting strange shapes, stars, clouds, faces. Some looked like dreams. Some looked like memories. Some looked like pain. And slowly, the colors began to heal the silence inside her. One evening, as she painted alone, Alex walked in. You've been quiet. Zura looked at her painting, a picture of a girl floating in a sky full of wires and light. I used to think silence was my prison, she said. But now I think it was my teacher. Alex sat beside her. What did it teach you? That I never want to be invisible again. He smiled. Then keep showing the world who you are. She looked at him. You showed me first, when no one else did. I didn't see a project, he said. I saw a person. A few weeks passed. One morning, a message came from Tarnos, not from the council, from the people. A group of young students sent a video to Zura. They stood in front of their school and held signs that said, You made us believe in voices. You are not a mistake. Thank you, Zura. Zura watched it in silence. She didn't cry, but her hands trembled slightly as she touched the screen. I thought they hated me. Not everyone, Alex said. You gave the quiet ones courage. That night she walked alone outside the station. The stars above her were clear. No walls, no limits. She thought of who she had been, a girl born in silence. Locked away, rejected, ignored. Then one human had listened, and she had begun to rise. Zura whispered to the sky, I was made to be forgotten, but I chose to remember myself. She closed her eyes. No fear. No anger. Just peace and a soft, steady voice inside her heart that said, "Live."